So, Connie, this one is from Frances. She's one of our online ladies. She said, Connie, regression can sometimes feel confronting for clients. How does your approach using memory reconsolidation allow the transformation that is true and how to bring it to your practice? So how do they feel it in a true sense?
Well, when you look at the memory reconsolidation, rather than putting the client back into the traumatizing initial sensitizing event, I work with a recent memory or a recent time the client has been feeling the same way. So let's say a client has a panic attack every time she leaves the house because there was, say, trauma in childhood. I would say, okay, when was the last time you felt like that? Rather than talking about the childhood. And the moment the client goes back into that recent memory, it activates the same neural pathways. And the way that I know that a client really gets the transformation is by asking the client, where do you feel it in your body? Because when the neural pathway is activated, the client has that feeling in their body. So I go into kind of present tense, where do you feel it in your body? What's happening? What number? How do you rate that feeling? And then we can rewire it. So that way we're not regressing the client back into that, traumatizing event.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, ask them. Otherwise, I've got like a whole list.
Okay. Any questions from the crowd? Just raise your hand or come over. Don't be shy, otherwise there will be online questions. Anybody? Am I missing any questions just yet? Okay, let's go online again.
Linda, this one's from James. He is a small business owner. In a crowded wellness industry, personal branding can make or break a practitioner's success. What are the most common branding mistakes that hypnotherapists make?
Thank you for that. I think one of the most common things people do is not understand their values and their beliefs and then use the colors and the fonts and align everything, because it doesn't matter whether you're on social media or whether it's your website or a leaflet, it all has to align so that it's very clear that it's always you, and it's very clear also that you're sending the same message all the time. So be consistent. That's my main message.
Remember, if you've got a question, anybody out there, just pop your hand up, and as soon as there's an opportunity, I'll come to you with the microphone and you can ask your question either to the panel or someone specific if you would like a specific answer from somebody.
I'm just going down the list. I'm not picking anyone in particular. Okay. Karen, this one's from Lily. She's a mindset coach. Money is one of the biggest emotional triggers for people. From a hypnosis perspective, what's the keys to shifting deep-rooted financial beliefs that keep clients stuck in scarcity?
With money, it's actually is about your beliefs and what you've actually been through in the past that can actually shift how you feel about money. Sorry, speak up. So what you believe about money, what you've been through in the past, your beliefs, your values, it drives how you believe about money. You need to go back into your past, or even to your parents' past, and find out what their beliefs that have been embedded into you and shift those beliefs. When you can actually do that, you can transform how you feel about it now. But you also, when you talked, Trish, before about taking action, a lot of the times you have to take the actions to actually change the beliefs first. That the beliefs will change as you go. But with hypnosis, you can do that with the work you do with your clients to help them shift, but find out what those beliefs were, what their values are about money before you can actually go through the hypnosis with them, so you can actually understand what it is that's holding them back, what's making them fear money, what's making them have the belief that they can't have it, what they deserve. So it's a matter of just finding out what's going on for them and then work through that, but then also take the actions and get help with the money mindset, the actual financial side. If you don't have that knowledge, that's when you reach out to an accountant or someone who can actually help with that. And then your hypnosis helps with the mindset side and shifting the beliefs.
As I said, get your questions ready. If you've got one, just pop your hand up. We won't embarrass you. No, just scratch your head. Sold. Nothing. Nothing yet? Good. I'll come over, Fabian.
Reg, what happened, mate? Where was your show?
You have to talk to Trisha about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was like one of the highlights. But Trish, what happened with Reg's show? Reg's stage show. What happened?
Stage show?
Last night. Everybody was pestering me last night to do a stage show. Yeah. That's a bit, you shouldn't do that. It's a bit Elon Musk, that.
I think Rich should do something. He thinks he's funny, so he has to prove it.
Wow. Talk about me.
Got your own stage. You got your own mic over there. That's what.
Fantastic. Okay, everybody. I feel the pressure now, obviously. So, but I'm going to stand up. Will the camera still see me if I stand up? Because it's all about the camera, obviously, not about you guys. Okay, everybody. Is something we can all do it? I don't need the microphone. Who am I kidding? Right. If you join your hands together like this for me, that's fantastic. And then just check, see if you've got a spare one. Like that. That's very silly, but kids love that. That's always good. And you're all laughing and smiling, which is really nice. There, join your hands together for me. What you've all done right now is you've demonstrated a subconscious pattern that you've had on board since you were maybe about 2 years old. Okay. And that is the way that you decided to intertwine your fingers. Because regardless of whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you've chosen at about the age of 2 to intertwine your fingers this particular way. And if you have a look down, you've either got your right pinky finger on the bottom, like me, or you've got your left pinky finger on the bottom. So if you've got the right finger on the bottom, the right pinky finger on the bottom, just raise your hands and show me who you guys are. Okay, interesting.
For those at home, about 50%.
And
Maybe
this is
or not.
nothing to do with whether you're right-handed or left-handed, trust me. Okay, so just lower them for me. The rest of you, you will all have your left pinky finger on the bottom, is that correct?
Okay.
Yeah, raise your hands for me. Ah, do you know what that says about you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. However, you've chosen to do it that way. And again, you can check whether people are left-handed or right-handed. But what we're going to do is we're going to walk in the other person's shoes right now. Okay, so we're going to swap all those fingers around.
Doesn't feel
Now,
good.
It doesn't fold.
now raise your hand if that feels a little bit weird and a little bit odd and a bit unfamiliar. Of course, virtually everybody. Okay. And that's because we've chosen that and we've done that for many years, in some cases, 30 years. I'm being kind. No, I'm not. Anyway, but we can change that pattern. We can start to. Who was saying? Was it Jan yesterday? Was talking about firing synapses. We can change the way that our synapses are firing very, very quickly. Okay, and the way that we do that, forget about your hands for now. But the way we do that is by giving ourselves a message. And so on the count of 3, I want you all to do a big, deep, contented sigh. Okay? On the count of 3. Jeez, some people you can't follow simple instructions, can they? Exactly. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. That's a happy, contented sigh. Okay? And now we've given ourselves a message. Okay? We've said everything is fine. Everything is good. Everything is okay. Now join your hands back together for me. Okay. Switch them around. Switch them around to that weird, unfamiliar way and find somewhere on your hands you can focus. Okay. Maybe your thumbs. Maybe you're looking at a thumbnail or a knuckle. You don't have to look at me anymore. You can just look down at those thumbs or look across. And on the count of 3, we're going to make that big, deep, contented sighing noise. And we're going to listen to what I'm saying as well. And because we want to tell our mind that this is a pattern, a new pattern, we're going to do it 3 times. So we're going to jump the synapse. We're going to spark across it 3 times so that it's no longer something that's unusual. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. First time, everything's fine. Excellent. And the second time, 1, 2, 3, everything is normal. This is as normal as can be. And the third time, 1, 2, 3, this is good. Okay, now switch those fingers back around for me and back around again and keep switching them. And now tell me by raising your hands if it's already starting to feel a little bit better and a little bit less unfamiliar. Look at that. In just a few moments, you've managed to change a subconscious pattern that you've had on board for about 30 years.
Now everybody get in the gym.
That's something that I use quite a lot, which is, well, I do this at the beginning of stage shows, but it's something that you guys are very welcome to use because it sets up a frame for change for people. And it shows them, even the most skeptical, scientifically thinking people, it gives them a framework there to say, hey, look how quickly we can make changes. And all of that I said was true. You know, I observed my son's now 10. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you're a bit old to have a 10-year-old. Don't worry, my wife's very young. And because I work on stage, my next wife will probably be even younger. Got to have a goal. Anyway. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't show you my dream board. See why I'm so grateful to Argie now. Yeah.
Wanted to continue on with the vision board session.
Oh, that's right. You said you wanted to get on with it.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
That's fantastic. I'm so glad you're not a real audience. Excellent. Do you want to try one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've done this with some of you before and I've done it online as well. This is my thumb thing. Now, this came about because I was chatting to my now wife, my young wife. I was doing a radio show in New Zealand and I said, I really need something that the people at home can join in with. And I need something that's safe, but something that they don't need. I said, I need something like a pendulum, but I don't want people to have to go and make their own pendulums. So this is what we came up with. This is what my wife came up with. Put your thumb up. Everybody knows how to do a thumbs up, right? Excellent. I found it's actually easier. This works better if you loosen your fingers away from your palm slightly, and then loosen those fingers away from each other. So you've still got a general thumbs up position, but it's very loose, okay? And what I want you all to do now is find somewhere on your thumb that you can focus on. The level of focus that I need you to have is such that even if something gets in the way, you won't break that level of focus. You don't need to look at me. You can just focus on that part of the thumb. Now, already I'm starting to use disassociative language. I said the thumb. So focus on the thumb. And I want you to really focus on the thumb as if you're seeing that thumb for the very first time. I want you to imagine, if it helps, that you're looking at somebody else's thumb. And because you're looking at somebody else's thumb at this stage, I want you to notice some features about that thumb that you might not have noticed before. And purely by focusing and disassociating yourself from this thumb, you find that it just floats there in front of you. If it helps, you can imagine that it's my thumb and my hand. And because you've done such a good job of disassociating yourself from this body part, watch what happens when I say up, 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 up. That's a little jerky movements at first, but that hand starts to bounce in front of you and maybe start to move upwards. And it can also go left, 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 left. And the best part for a hypnotist is when it goes down, 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 down. And you can just drift down with it. And when it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. And just let that thumb and that hand continue its journey wherever it needs to go, only at the speed that you're comfortable with, whether it lands on the table in front of you, whether it lands next to you or on your lap. And by the time it reaches the end of its journey, you've all drifted down with it. Easily, comfortably, safely, quickly. Amazing. And now we can really feel all of the learning that we've learned this weekend and all of the learning that some of you are going to learn over the next couple of days is really going to take hold on another level. So much so that you can take all of that learning from things that you haven't agreed with, things that you have agreed with. You can always find something from that learning that you can take with you into your lives from now on and into your careers. And I also want you to know that even though there's been a lot of talk this weekend about whether you're a full-time hypnotherapist or whether you just do it part-time, it really doesn't matter. Whether your world is big or whether your world is small, the most important thing is that you're happy in your world. Because let's not forget, this is a calling. It's a calling more than it's a business. And last time I checked, Richard Branson wasn't running an airline full-time. And last time I checked, Richard Branson wasn't running a record company full-time, because he has that entrepreneurial mindset that means he can do several things. And even if the connections aren't obvious to the observer, the connections are obvious to him. And on that note, whenever you're comfortable, I want you to take a big, deep breath. I'm going to count upwards from 1 to 5, and you can just come back to the room feeling absolutely wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Open your eyes, feeling great. Have a big stretch for me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
It's inside the book. You're free to take. Okay.
Thanks, Rich. I want you to reassociate that arm back to your body. Put it up if you've got a question.
No, I don't have anyone in particular, but I think, I know I have across my 23 years of working with people. Sometimes the impersonator gets in the way. So who wants to tackle that?
Just do you, girlfriend. That's seriously, that's
Just-
what's really important, is that you just be yourself.
The hypnotherapist with a microphone, what could go right? 23 years? Okay. Now, one of my world champion rower, kayaker, 3 Olympic Games, wanted to win a world title. I spoke to her on the weekend. She said, right, going to go and compete. I was out at Queensland Raceway with a group of motor racers. And on Instagram, there was a message. Well, that just happened. K1 1000 world title. So single seater kayak, 1,000 meters, world title. Send her a message, congratulations, world champ. Didn't hear from her for 6 hours. When she finally did respond, she responded back and said, well, sorry, weapon, the data isn't accurate. I've now got 2 world titles. We just picked up the K2 500. So that's a 2-seater kayak over 500 meters. I said, congratulations, dual world champion. Now, every one of you remember this. Her response, thanks, Stu. Been a good week. Still more work to do. You're never going to be happy with this success. So get used to failing. Okay. It is really, I know it's a slap to the face for a lot of people, but you're going to get used to it. You're always going to say, could have done better. Now, every one of the world and Olympic champions I've got, 48, you're welcome. Every one of them has exactly the same response. Who am I to think I'm that good? What do I need to do now? Okay, there was always something wrong with the preparation, with the race, with the performance. Someone had the tag sticking out of their togs. That was their lasting memory of a world best score, Olympic gold medal. Okay, get used to it. Stop looking for the imperfections. Look at what you have done, focus on you, and do it incredibly well.
I'd like to add that we have to make mistakes in life. We have to learn. And the only way we're going to learn is sometimes we do something not quite right. As long as it's not about harming the client in any way, as long as it's safe, then we've just got to learn from that. And so, you know, even today, I was talking to, is it Greg, about inductions. Yes, I can do a handshake induction and get someone into hypnosis in a minute or so, but there's the odd person it doesn't work on. So am I a failure? No, I'm not. It just means I've got to learn a bit more about people and individuals and how I'm going to do it next time so that it doesn't happen again. So don't worry about making mistakes. We have to make mistakes to learn.
Happy to help you with that, Linda, if you need some training. I realized way too late in my life that I'd spent a long time focusing on the things that other people could do that I can't do. And it sounds really obvious, but once I switched it and started focusing on the things I can do that other people can't, it really sort of changed my life. I was born, it's not a recent diagnosis, not that there's anything wrong with people that have had a recent diagnosis, but I was diagnosed as a kid as having a thing called clumsy kid syndrome, which is dyspraxia, is what they call it. And in Australia, they call it DCD, developmental coordination disorder. And consequently, I focused for so long on the things that other people could do and wanted to do those things. And then suddenly I realized I'm focusing on the wrong things. I need to focus on what I can do, not what I can't do. And yeah, it sounds obvious, but it was a huge change. Yeah. And also I was born with this is like poor me. I have a submucous cleft palate, which means that as a kid, they were really worried that they might have to operate. I didn't get a hair lip, but to this day, I was pointing out to somebody yesterday, I was earlier today, those protein balls, they stick to the roof of my mouth. Anything with peanut butter in, forget it. You know, sometimes it's easier for me to tell people I'm allergic to peanuts rather than explain I've got a very sensitive high palate and it's not good for me to have things sticking up. But ironically, even though I had speech defects and various things as a kid, now I make my money out of speaking. And yeah, you know, like I say, I just focused on the things I can do that other people can't. So there you go. And my coordination's still shit.
Point about learning, though. I do agree that one of the models of learning is through trial and error and making mistakes. But I think there's another model for learning that we shouldn't forget about. And it's kind of what Anthony Robbins brought to the world. And it's the concept of modeling. That if you really want to do something, find someone that is doing what it is that you want to do and break what they're doing down into pieces and follow the path. And I don't think we all need to reinvent wheels. I think there are perfectly good wheels in the world. And if we allow the idea that we don't necessarily have to make mistakes to learn, that we can learn from watching and learning from other people doing things.
I don't need to say anything. I'm sitting around that.
I find with me as well, learning from our clients, when we actually take something away that we are successful with or something that they've brought up for us and transfer that to our other clients, we get more successes. And we also, whatever comes up inside of us, we mirror. So we will attract a client of something that we're going through. So when we can actually find a way to help ourselves, it gives us so much more strength to help them as well too. So it's about learning and trusting inside that you'll have the answers for them.
For me, I would say it's about doing the work ourselves. Because when we do the work ourselves, and you know, as Fabian was saying, when we constantly do the work ourselves, our nervous system is calm. We're kind of walking our talk. I think that authenticity comes through with our clients as well. Because it's one thing to tell, you know, my biggest thing was, and I said it yesterday in my talk, that I get my clients to do a task after each session that pushes them a little bit out of their comfort zone, so they have those tangible results when they work with me. And then I reached a stage about 3 or 4 years ago where I was like, I've got this fear of public speaking. I've avoided it all my life. But who am I to tell my clients, push yourself out of your comfort zone? And there I am not doing it. And I applied for a presentation somewhere. I did it. And in my mind, I was like, I'm going to go there once. And once I've done it, it's fine. If it's not something I enjoy doing, it's okay. And now it's the opposite. I actually, you know, travel to many conferences and present. And this was just the outcome out of something that was so unexpected for me, because I had this story all my life that I'm just not going to be ever good at public speaking. I don't like being in the center of attention. I don't like to be seen and heard. So yeah, that was a big thing for me, and I think clients can feel that.
Can I chime in on that? Yep. Because of our conversation, is that okay?
Yeah.
I think also you need someone to vent to, that you can vent to honestly as well. You know, and no, like they say with trust, you get a jar and everybody earns a piece of that trust. So once they've earned the ultimate trust, you put them in the jar and you know that you can trust them. But other people might just be over this jar because you only trust them with your recipes, but nothing else, you know. And then Connie and I had a conversation literally just before the conference, and, you know, we swear and carry on. And she was like, fuck, 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 fuck. And I'm not going to play it, but I literally got on my phone and I was like, welcome to the big leagues. I said, this is exactly what it's like. I feel the same, you know, and just being honest, like having that honest vent going, you know what, I'm doing my own work, but I'm not a failure. I'm not going to keep comparing myself to everybody else, but I really need to say, fuck this. And then I'm going to go again and I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a vent, and you need someone that you can vent to genuinely, not to solve a problem, just because you want to get it out of your system, and then off you go.
I just want to add, if we could, based on the vision board this morning, if everyone has got pen and paper, here's something you can do as a bit of a homework and assignment. We've all got our mobile phones. You've all got voice memo, correct? When you've got your vision board done, project yourself out into the future. Describe who you are, how you are, what you've achieved, past tense words, what you've done, the changes you've made, the person you've become, what you've left behind, what are your new responses. It's on the recording. Your unconscious mind is listening very carefully right now. So project yourself into the future. Create your own self-hypnosis recording. Allow for about 20 minutes. Just keep talking. This is who I am. This is what I've achieved. This is the house I live in. This is my business. This is how quickly I can keep up with Stuart's voice. What you can also do there is, then when you've got this 20-minute recording, because we know to get a nice, deep, relaxing meditation, 20 minutes is a perfect time. Then listen to it and listen to it and listen to it. What you're in fact doing there is you are deleting the old inner voice, the inner program. You're replacing it with this new version. Because we all know if we're driving the car or in the toilet or the shower, the voice that we have in our head, what we say to ourselves when we're by ourselves, it's horrible. Sorry?
I'm not running over there.
Sleep. So what I would suggest is what happens is this audio recording, make a very intentional recording. This is who I am. Listen to it for 20 minutes a day. It's going to remove the old program, the old audio. It's going to become the new version. Listen to that until one, you get sick of it, or two, you've changed so much that it's like, that's who I am. So every new action, every new decision will be now based on this new avatar. So there's your homework. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So do we have any other questions?
Scan this for my book.
Right. Yeah, and get Stuart's free Dear Diary process book thing. It's really good. It's really
It'll
good.
actually help you to get the wording, the terminology, the future progression. The concept of it is writing in your diary, not what you've done today, but what you did tomorrow in advance, changing the neural pathway, changing new actions and new responses, the new behaviors. Please only use this for yourself. It's not for you to use with your clients. Greatly appreciated, or you'll turn into a chicken.
Give you an example about the Dear Diary. So my mum was in hospital in January having a stroke, and not in a dirty way. No, yeah, but anyway, so she had a stroke, right? And my mum writes in a diary every night. And I had to sleep in the hospital for weeks with her. And every night she would say to me, because she lost her hands, you need to write down our day. And it would be, this was horrible, this was horrible. And she'd write down all the steps so she could remember her therapy. And so what I actually made her do is Stuart's diary process, which annoyed her, but she got over it. At the start of the page, I actually made her write the following day as if it had happened. So it was like I woke up and I had more movement again and all of this kind of stuff. And her therapy or her, she ended up, when you have a stroke, they let you out as soon as your, progression stops. I think that's how it works with strokes. She ended up being in there 3 or 4 months because every day it just improved and improved and improved as much as she could. And it was all from going into the next day and writing down how good her day was and how she slept and what kind of progress she had. So freaking awesome. It works.
You're welcome. And thank you. It is a free download. Please read it, have a look at it, use it for yourselves. And if you could, as a freebie, just do a quick review of it because we're just about to relaunch again. Thank you.
It's also in the book. Okay.
Wait to start having a look at it.
So yeah, if you want to come up and
Grab the books, yeah.
We'll have like just a quick break whilst we set up for the next speaker. And so come up, grab the book.
Thank you.
No, not in those names.
Yeah, it's good.
So, file binds. If you want to get up.